Get ready, get set. Haha! Today's Bible story has action, drama, and a really, really, really sharp weapon.
Oh my goodness,
What?
Gruff! There's a baby here. Why do you have a sword?
Oh, don't worry. It's not sharp, it's actually a toy. See?
Yeah.
But today's Bible story is not for the faint of heart.
Why do you say that?
Well, you see, in today's Bible story, Jesus is arrested. But Peter wants to use his knife to protect Jesus. So people were spreading lies about Jesus, and some people wanted to kill Jesus.
Why would they want to do that?
He was praying.
Wait, praying?
Yes, Jesus was in the garden praying when they arrested him.
But why would they arrest Jesus in a garden praying? That doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense.
Remember, I said Jesus worked. People were lying about Jesus. The religious leaders wanted to kill him, so they made up lies to get him into trouble. It was all part of the evil plan.
Oh, well, last week we did learn that God allows all things to happen for our good and for His glory. So I guess God was going to show His power through this tough situation.
And Jesus is one of the toughest situations. He was in one of the toughest situations imaginable. He was arrested. People lied about him. And one of his very best friends, Peter, he denied Jesus. Jesus lived a sinless life, but now bad stuff happened to Jesus. But remember, all of this wasn't an accident. It wasn't a surprise. Jesus went through all the bad things to save us.
Yes, although people treated Jesus unkindly, He was loving and forgiving. Jesus chose not to fight.
Not to fight?
No, Jesus told Peter to put his sword away.
Wow, I've got to see this. I'm ready. Let's play the Bible story video.
Jesus came with his disciples to a garden called Gethsemane. He said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." Jesus took 3 of his disciples into the garden, and Jesus became very sad and troubled. Jesus told the 3 disciples to stay there, and he went a little farther. Jesus fell face down and prayed, "Father, if it is possible, spare me from this, but I want to do your plan." Jesus came back and found the 3 disciples asleep. He asked Peter, "Couldn't you stay awake with me for 1 hour?" Jesus went away and prayed a second time. Then he found his disciples sleeping again. He said, "Are you still asleep? Get up, for it is almost time. Someone is going to betray me." Suddenly, Judas arrived with a large crowd carrying swords and clubs. Judas kissed Jesus so the crowd would know which man was Jesus. The men grabbed Jesus and arrested him. Peter pulled out his sword to fight the man, but Jesus told Peter to put away his sword. Jesus said, "Isn't this what God planned all along?" Jesus' followers ran away, but Peter stayed nearby to watch. The men who arrested Jesus led him to the house of Caiaphas, the high priest. The religious leaders wanted a reason to kill Jesus, but they couldn't find one. The high priest asked, "Do you have anything to say? Are you the Messiah, the Son of God?" Jesus replied, "Yes, that's right." The high priest said, "Aha! He has spoken against God." Caiaphas and the religious leaders did not want to believe that Jesus is God's son. They said Jesus was lying, but Jesus was telling the truth. The crowd said, "He deserves to die." They spit in Jesus' face and hit him. A servant saw Peter and asked, "Aren't you one of Jesus' disciples?" "No, I'm not," Peter said. Twice more, as Peter watched what was happening to Jesus, someone asked him if he was a follower of Jesus. Peter lied. "No," he said, "I don't even know him." The next morning, the religious leaders decided how they would kill Jesus. Then they took him to Pilate, the governor. Jesus knew that his death was God's plan to save people from sin. Jesus' friends turned against him and he was arrested and put on trial. But Jesus followed his Father's plan in order to bring salvation to the world.
Welcome to the question and answer show.
With Quibbles and Moss. Quibbles, get ready for the first question. What did Jesus pray in the garden?
Ooh. Please don't let me get bit by a snake? No, I'm just kidding. Jesus prayed for God to do his will. Even though Jesus would have tough times ahead, Jesus still wanted to do the right thing and follow God's will.
Even if God's will was going to hurt?
Jesus would do the right thing to save us, even though it meant he had to die a painful death on the cross. He loves us that much.
Why was the high priest so angry at Jesus?
Oh, because Jesus said he was the Messiah. And the religious leaders did not want to believe that Jesus was God. Next question. Why do you think Peter denied knowing Jesus? I mean, Peter had just pulled out a sword and now Peter says he doesn't even know his best friend? Why?
Because Peter was afraid for his life? Maybe he saw how badly Jesus was being treated, and maybe Peter was afraid he was next if the religious leaders knew he followed Jesus. Peter did not want to be arrested and punished. He was trying to save himself.
I think you're right. Sometimes it is hard to stand up for a friend, especially if you are afraid of being made fun of, or maybe worse.
I think Peter pretended he didn't know Jesus because it was easier than standing up for him. But we need to boldly share God's truth and always be brave enough to tell others about Jesus' love.
In today's Bible story, Jesus allowed his enemies to arrest him. Huh? What? Ah! I gotcha! Avast, mateys! And Jesus didn't fight. He told Peter to put the knife down.
Even if God's plan is scary, painful, sad, or difficult, Jesus followed God's plan.
And because Jesus was so brave, even during the hardest times, we will someday be with him forever.
Oh, someday Jesus will return and destroy all evil. Then the world will be fixed for us to live with God forever.
Ha! Watch out, evil! Jesus is coming for you!
Oh, I hope you enjoyed today's question and answer show with Quibbles, Scruff, and Moss.
See you later!